life expectancy is 85.51. Number 3 is Japan. Their life expectancy is 84.95.
All Asian nations.
Yep, you hit it. That's very important. That's very important information. Number 5 is Switzerland. Their life expectancy is 84.69. Well, why do they live so long? Well, because they live in places where they get the glacial milk, where the glaciers are grinding up the rocks in the mountains, and the water they drink is loaded with minerals. The water they cook with is loaded with minerals. The irrigation for their gardens and farms is loaded with minerals. Okay, Singapore's number 5. Their life expectancy is 84.20. Now,
and ours is going down, isn't it?
Ours is going down. Where did we rank 6 months ago? Okay, where did we rank 6 months ago? The United States ranks 47th in the world in longevity.
Oh,
we're 47th, George. It sucks. It's terrible. It's an embarrassing thing. Our life expectancy is only 79.74. Okay? We are ranking 47 out of the top 100 countries. Okay, it's just terrible.
We should be way up with our technology and everything else.
We should be in the top 10 at least.
Exactly.
Okay, now, let's look at something here. Let's look at a series of diseases that our doctors have spent literally billions of dollars on finding treatments and cures and so forth. And this is relatively recent information in the last year. Alzheimer's disease, each year, America alone, we spend, just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure Alzheimer's disease, we spend $345 billion. Arthritis, we don't spend our money to prevent or cure arthritis, but just to treat the symptoms, each year in America, we spend $626.8 billion. Diabetes, we spend $342 billion. Just to treat the symptoms. Heart disease, $316.8 billion. High blood pressure, $131 billion.
And nobody's any better.
That's right. We're getting worse. Now, here it comes. Remember, I said arthritis, we spend $626.8 billion. Let's look at another interesting disease called osteoporosis. That goes along with arthritis. And most people think that osteoporosis occurs because you're getting older. Okay, it's just an aging thing.
Right. And a lot of people think it's that crippled look.
Yeah.
It's much more than that.
It's much more than that. And so let's just look here. Let's look at some, and these figures are all from the United Nations, including this one on osteoporosis. Let's look at 3 communities, the United States, Canada, and the European Union together. And again, treating the symptoms of osteoporosis, not preventing or curing it. Each year, these 3 communities combined spend $6.5 trillion. $6.5 trillion. Now, you throw in the arthritis at $626.8 billion, that turns it into $7 trillion we're spending each year just to treat the symptoms of arthritis and osteoporosis.
That's a fifth of the national debt.
That's correct. And so that's why doctors are always smiling. They are using the American public as a milking machine. Okay? Because I can get rid of osteoporosis in say, 30 to 60 days.
I had a well-known plastic surgeon on last night, Doc, who's very reputable. And I asked him, I said, do doctors ever turn away patients? And he said, no, not really. They want to do the job. They want the money. And he admitted that.
Yep. Well, there you go. Well, let's look at another one here, George. Osteoporosis is called. Doctors don't know anything about this. They don't treat osteoporosis as called. They just treat different diseases individually, but they don't treat the whole picture. Well, osteoporosis of the skull is very interesting because there's 12 pairs of cranial nerves. There's a spinal cord all that generate in the brain and come out through tunnels in the skull. And on page 6 of this little book, It's All in Your Head, it shows a normal skull, a quarter of an inch thick, and it shows a skull with osteoporosis of the skull. It's an inch and a half to 2 inches thick, squeezing the nerves. And it shows all these different nerves. There's a chapter in this book for each of the cranial nerves, and then we had to come up with a CD for the spinal cord. And there's about 60 different diseases that occur when you have osteoporosis of the skull. And, of course, we tell you how to prevent and reverse all of them in this little book, It's All in Your Head. So everybody needs that one. Now, let's just look at osteoporosis of the skull. where the skull is squeezing these 12 pairs of cranial nerves in your spinal cord.
That's the one that you ask people if you hear a hissing sound, right?
That's right, tinnitus. That's correct. Okay, cranial nerve number 1, when it gets squeezed, you lose your sense of smell. Cranial nerve number 2, when it gets squeezed, it's the optic nerve. You gradually lose your vision. Cranial nerve number 3, you get ptosis. The pupil doesn't respond to light. Cranial nerve number 4, you get double vision. Cranial nerve number 5, you get trigeminal neuralgia, very painful. Cranial nerve number 6, double vision. Cranial nerve number 7, Bell's palsy, your face droops. Cranial nerve number 8, tinnitus. That's the one you're speaking about, George. It's tinnitus, ringing in the ears, deafness, vertigo, Meniere's disease. And then cranial nerve number 9, when it gets squeezed, you lose the gag reflex. You lose your sense of taste and speech. Cranial nerve number 10 being squeezed, you get gastroparesis or COPD, hiccups. Cranial nerve number 11 gets squeezed, you get the loss of trapezius, the ability to lift your arms above your head. Cranial nerve number 12, atrophy of the tongue and speech and swallowing. So cranial nerve number 9 and 12, when they get squeezed together, you're in trouble in communications. Okay? Now, the beautiful thing about all this, the spinal cord and the brain itself is 30% to 80% myelin, the white matter of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very important to the function of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay? When you start losing that myelin, you get all these diseases. We came up with a flip chart. That has these diseases in it. Okay? Page 24 of this flip chart. Okay? And the title of the flip chart is 90 for Life Crusade to Save Humanity in the World. 90 for Life Crusade to Save Humanity in the World. And there's so many, what should I say, very important people. We're talking about very famous people who they're movie actors, or they're people who are athletes. They're people who are just about everything you can think of, who work in the government and so forth, okay? But here's, just quickly, Pat Boone, Danny Glover, let's see here, Theo Ratliff, Evander Holyfield. You'll recognize a lot of these names. Okay, Pastor Mike Freeman, that's a very interesting story. Andy Young.
And Pat's a dear friend of our show.
Yeah, there you go. Pastor Creflo Dollar, Jerry Lewis, for Jerry's Kids and muscular dystrophy, and another half a dozen of these, and they all, their careers are over. They individually had health problems, or family had health problems, and I went in there and cured them all. Okay, with our nutritional program. And so they...
How long did it take for the reversal?
Anywhere from 3 months to 6 months. And they had these problems for years. And the doctors were just letting them swirl down the tubes. And so we're talking about Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Huntington's disease, frontotemporal dementia. Let's see here, there's a famous...
That's what Bruce Willis has.
Bruce Willis. If you can get a hold of him, I can reverse that for him. I've reversed so many people with frontotemporal dementia by using our program.
I'll have Tom check, Doc. Doc, hold on for a second. We're going to take a short break and come back and
go gluten-free
with you as we always do. Doc Wallach with us.
Lots of natural minerals.
We lost a lot of people, a lot of listeners last year.
Sea moss.
2023. I don't want that to happen.
Today I threw away my pills against my family doctor's will. They said they would make me smile, but instead I feel nothing. I see that look on your face.
the record in 1997 of people in the industrialized world is Jean Calment from France. She died at 122 years and 164 days.
You'll make that if you stop falling in holes and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I have to watch where I walk. But as far as health, I'm 84 years old, George. And most people think I'm at 50 when they look at me.
No, they do. I've seen you out at the conferences, Conscious Life Expo, and things like that.
Yeah.
And PP Contact in the desert.
And so I can work 24 hours a day for many days of the week and just take a little nap here and there. But it's one of those things where I'm very, very, what should I say, explicit about what I eat and how I cook. We actually have a cookbook. We're in our 3rd edition. It sells so well. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It's 370 pages at the end of the 2nd edition.
Well, lots of recipes in there.
Yep. Well, there's over 500 recipes, and they're safe. They will add years to your life, and they will add health to your years. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It's I'll send you a copy, okay?
Okay.
You'll love it. And then I also want to remind you that we do have this flip chart. The flip chart goes into all these various diseases that we get as humans and so forth. And one of the things that people need to pay attention to is my book, Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen. Okay? And this goes into what happened in 1888. 1888. It was the first commercial electricity in housing in the United States in Wisconsin. Well, one house got electricity. And by the end of the year, or the end of the century of 1900, okay, suddenly now we had all these hydroelectric dams and this, that, and the other, and electricity was a big thing. Well, for over 3,000 years, we had gotten our minerals and our water and our food and our fields from the irrigation with this glacial milk, this glacial water, and also from flood waters, okay? And then once we went to electricity, the dams dammed it all up for hydroelectric, and we lost our minerals that we had been getting for over 3,000 years. And so this is why suddenly the medical system flourished, because suddenly now we had all these symptoms of hundreds of diseases nobody had ever seen before because we weren't getting our minerals. And the pharmaceutical industry jumped in there, and they came up with all these different drugs to relieve symptoms, not to cure the disease. They purposely just wanted to relieve symptoms, and the people were grateful that the symptoms were relieved, like pain and hiccups and slowly losing their vision, all that kind of stuff. And they were able to, with these drugs, reduce the pain and the symptoms, and they're very happy. Well, this I call it Hell's Kitchen, because we went from 3,000 years of not having these diseases, not having pharmaceutical industries, not having doctors giving us drugs every month, because we're getting our minerals from the wood ashes and coal ashes from cooking and heating and that kind of stuff.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
And so you have to supplement properly, and this is where we come in, because it's one of those things. I'll give you a couple of examples, if I may. One is liver cancer. Have you ever heard of liver cancer?
As a matter of fact, my host, Ian Punnett, whom you had never done an interview with, I don't think, just passed away of liver cancer, non-alcoholic liver cancer.
How old was he?
He was 63.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a question about him in a minute. But basically, liver cancer is caused by a very specific thing. And the people who drink beer every Friday night when they get their paychecks, at the bars, they have a very high rate of liver cancer. It's not the alcohol in the beer, it's the peanuts. Peanuts are ground nuts. They grow in the ground, and they get infested with a fungus called aspergillus. Okay, and aspergillus produces an aflatoxin called Aspergillus aflatoxin, which produces liver cancer. Okay, I worked with Marlon Perkins, the old Mutual Omaha Wild Kingdom show, for many years, and he sent me to Africa for 2 years to work with the White Rhino Conservation Project, and we were very successful. Back then there was only like 350 left, and now there's 16,000.
You saved that breed.
Yep, we saved the breed, and I'm very proud of that. But also, I learned a lot about peanuts. And of course, peanuts with this aflatoxin, when you eat those peanuts, that aflatoxin causes liver cancer. When I came back from Africa, and I wrote a book, because my first book was Rhino Express, talking about how we save the white rhino. Perkins gave me this list of about a dozen different diseases. He says, Wally, before we really put you to work here, I want you to solve all these problems with these dozen different diseases here. The first one is every species of bears in all the zoos around the world is getting liver cancer. Doesn't matter what species they are. It could be black bears, brown bears, sun bears, all the bears from Alaska, snow bears and so forth. And they all get liver cancer. And so I said, well, they're all different places. They're all different species. Yet, what is their common threads? And so I started talking to the various zoo curators, and the thing that was a common thread was all the bears were getting the peanuts. They were selling to guests coming into the zoos to make money to run the zoo, but they would throw the peanuts to the bears, and the bears were getting that aflatoxin and getting the liver cancer. So we switched it over to the biscuits that they give to dogs and biscuits that they give to monkeys, and within 90 days, there were no more new liver cancers in the bears after 40 years of having liver cancer.
Peanuts.
Yeah, the infestation with that mold aflatoxin.
That's crazy, Doc. Let's take some calls. They're lining up for you. John in Wisconsin to get us started. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hello, George. Hello, Doc Wallach.
Yes, sir. How can we help you?
I have a brief testimony and 2 comments, please. 12 years ago, I was diagnosed with celiac disease, which, among other things, means I'm not supposed to have gluten. Well, I was struggling. My dermatologist put me on a very strong pill called Dapsone, which I was on for many years. Well, 3 years ago, I discovered Coast to Coast and started hearing the wisdom of Doc Wallach. And a couple things really resonated with me. Number one was, Doc always follows up a comment by saying no oils, no processed foods, no soda, even the diet ones aren't good, and he mentions other things. Eventually that resonated with me. Secondly, I listened to Doc's type of pills or medicines he described to the callers, and I said, boy, that lines up with everything I need. So I then called criticalhealthnews.com, talked to a wonderful sales rep from Tampa. I'm in Wisconsin. She was very helpful. She got me on some gut medicine immediately, and then 2, now I'm blind, Doc, so I can't, please don't ask me the name of the medicine. My wife does the administrative work. But she got me on 2 things I mix in with my drinks. So every day I take my gut medicine and the 2 powders with my drinks. When I need a new order, my wife calls the young lady. 2 days later, it shows up. I have not felt this good ever, and my confidence is phenomenal. So I want to thank Doc for that. My final comment is Doc's colleague, pharmacist Ben Fuchs, is another fabulous resource. He was on a radio show this morning in central Wisconsin, and the audience was just so impressed and overwhelmed because most of them don't hear Doc if they're don't hear pharmacists if they're sleeping. So I want to end my comments with this. Once again, Coast to Coast offers phenomenal resources.
Fare you well, my honey. Fare you well, my only true one. All the birds that were singing are gone, except you alone. Gonna leave this broke-down palace on my hands and my knees. It will make myself a bed by the waterside. In my time, I will go. In a bed by the waterside, I will lay my head. Listen to the river sing sweet songs to rock my soul. River, gonna sing me sweet, sleepy. Sing me sweet and sleepy. Oh, it's a fun